Gotta have them see close up.
And maybe it's very good. Oh, look, they're left. Well, then after that.
I said, Donnie's still one over. How you doing, Ms. Thomas?
Oh,
It might be a short meeting, but that's not that important.
That's very much. It's retired.
No.
It's a number. Not what we use it on. And it's kind of, yeah.
That's the same thing as in that,
Well, thinking of it, just said, oh, I had one day, which had got.
this in there.
Well, I know the goal is. But it's a double. Should they all get asked? They got it.
Well, I know what it and what's your show? Yeah, that's what I did. Chris. Yeah. Oh, is it not? I got you. Oh, okay. I do that tonight. I do that for you. Look. Good morning. Hi, Chris. Yeah, I'm somebody. And we gotta. It's all we gotta do now. He needs to be.
On Zoom? Okay. Good evening, I'll call to order, finance meeting, November 15th. I will, open this prayer with the pledge. Dear Lord, thank you for that opportunity to serve our community. Pray that, help us to, understand the significance of our service, dear Lord. Thank you for, giving us a wonderful place to live. Pray that you give us discernment as we think and talk through the city's finances. Dear Lord, let us those things that you bless us. Praise you. Amen. Please stand and pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I appreciate you guys being here. Here is only Zoom with us. I'm going to get out of order just so we can get just a couple of things out of the way. One of the things that I handed out to council members, there's been questions on, what BMSS has completed. If you'll look at this scope of work that I passed out, you'll see the things that they have done. If there's, we can, I guess at some point, everybody probably would like to identify some things that, maybe we would like to go into a little more detail in a meeting setting on some of the things that they've done. Some of what they've done is not quite that, but it is good to know that they completed. As you can see, they completed a good portion of what they set out to do. Some of the things that they're waiting on are related to the audit, two audits. Assisting with identifying, tagging, tracking fixed assets inventory. I know they're in the process of that. So most everything to audit. I do have, and I did not send it out earlier, and I apologize. They have prepared, like we asked them to do, the policy and procedures for the finance department. I have. I will get that to Ms. Nikki to get that everybody and lay their eyes on that, down the policies and procedures. And I'm sorry I did not. I just laid my eyes on the right this afternoon. I printed it out to get it to everybody. We do have anything in particular that anybody wants to ask about the BMSS scope of work and what they've done, what they should have worked on.
I do.
Okay.
I've been doing a little research and looking at the things of a layout where BMS, like you said, we are in phase what, 2?
Mm-hmm.
So phase 2, compared to what I'm seeing now, that you say the details they have completed, we have to do it, the completed of this information. And my concern is when you read it, and can I ask you this question? Mr. Javier, I know EMS has been here since the previous, trip has not been in place. And some of the things that EMS have been looking at are some of the same things that we had looked at on our audit report and also under our state exam. And from the looks of the stand that I've been looking at and following what EMS has done for us, I just want to know, from this point on to now, if this is the last part of the phrase, they're going to complete.
Yeah, unless there's, I'll ask the mayor just a couple of questions. I'm gonna give you stand up like that. Stand up there. So I think that's one of the things we need to ask for something else that he has recognized or marked that if he sees that they need to do. I think they've done just about everything that we recognize. I don't know anything that's all.
Okay, I'm very concerned with it because of, it's been bothering me. Off the top, right now, you have a policy that you're going to present to this body of the council, to the legislature. Is this policy is based on from where that they put together of, from another city, according to, policy procedures for the treasurer, the whole finance office is supposed to be, run under? And if some of this, is it coming out of a part of, under the legislature law of the duty of the treasurer that require, in the finance office to be guideline under?
I would imagine so, yes. I have not looked at it. I know what we asked them to do. I know the reason we asked BMSS to do it was because they have so many municipalities as clients.
Yeah.
And have for a long time. And we felt like they would be very good at setting these policies based on their experience. So I would be shocked if they weren't in tow with what the
No, it wasn't that, the guideline of the legislature law required for the treasurer. The guideline, that is my concern of the policy. And, when are we gonna get this policy? Will we have this policy where we can, if anything that we need to look at in there and direct the ask question on the work session?
Yes, I'll send it to this week. I may do it right now. Well, since I'm going to do most talking about it. But when we finish, I'll send it to her. She can send it out here.
All right, thank you.
I know we got a new trading company, with, BMSS, but like, for a couple of weeks or something, Joe Rose or something, but she got to be here.
I'm one member. Yeah, I'm one member of the committee. I think that's smart. I think we engaged, BMSS and Mr. Campbell through the end of October. So I think he's kind of just, I think we're on a consistent schedule right now with them. I think it would be a good idea to get them back in. I'm not so sure it wouldn't be a good idea to get them back in, start getting them just 6 weeks.
Because the reason I asked that, this is another tax season.
Yeah.
We got a lot of money that we can come in. I just hate to set somebody up to pay.
I'm with you 100%.
There's a lot of numbers gonna come, a lot of money gonna come. Even in tax rate, same. Got that. No deposit, all that good stuff like that.
Well, is anybody opposed to have it in the end?
I would like to ask Mayor a question. Mayor, can you bring this, Roosevelt back in to help the tax collector? The process, getting the training, knowing what the city
Yeah, if you think that's,
Or whatever.
yeah, if you think that's
With
necessary.
experience,
I guess,
That'll help out a whole lot. Yeah.
Good evening. Yeah, we do need to cross-train, both in the tax and license and in the finance office. And, I think, Councilman Harville, we are thinking of, like, again, at the end of the year, so that we can get a good handshake. When Mr. Campbell came into, the city, he had no idea what he would inherit. He has endured a very steep learning curve, gained a lot of knowledge about what needs to happen. That knowledge really needs to be transferred to the new treasurer. And so I think that there needs to be that handshake. And I think through the end of December would be reasonable. Now, the treasurer's, HR, the treasurer's start date is December 7th. December 7th. And she's in the middle of an audit on her current job and had to complete that project before she could actually leave. And so once she finishes that, she starts on December 7th. So that would give her about 3 full weeks of work activity where she can go through some things. And they might need to just maintain an open line of communications, just for Q&A in the event that would be needed. I also remind my council that we do have a fully staffed finance department. And the folks down there are really doing a lot of work, and they're doing a good job. And so they really will be able to provide some additional details as it relates to the tax and license office. To your question, Councilwoman Thomas, Mr. Roosevelt Goldsby is available. We can hold on to him for a little while longer to make sure that we do transfer knowledge there. But equally so, there is a full staff of folks down there who actually understands the details of the transactions, but the management of the organization is where we really needed to go. And in addition to that, we will be working to transfer after this year our payroll tax to the county. And we are also bringing in the unpaid collections for the garbage system into that system. So there's a huge transition there. I have spoken with Mr. Roper about that. He is aware of that challenge, and we're gonna step up to the plate and deal with that. We're just waiting for the public hearings to get completed, and then the council can go ahead and move on the ordinance contract, and then we'll get busy doing that work.
Let me ask a question. What day are you talking about being that day? I mean, because we're talking about keeping them from now until the end of December. I don't think we need them for that long. I mean, because my thoughts are, Shakira has come in and dig into this itself and kind of learn what's going on. I don't think we need to extend it that long. I mean, maybe a week or a couple of weeks. It don't take. I mean, this lady already has finance background. So why are we allowing BMSS to come and train her on something she already knows how to do?
Well, I understand your point, and I probably would agree that, probably going forward from some point after December the treasurer starts, we don't need somebody 20 or 30 hours a week. But we do,
That is absolutely right.
yeah, but I think we will need a little bit of hand holding, and it's just because, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. It's not as easy as, she's played quarterback before. She knows how to call the signals and hand the ball off and throw it and do all that kind of thing. If you're into every system is different, and there are nuances, and there's the word I like to use is, I can assure you that Shakir knows where all the bear traps are.
He's had a baptism.
Yeah.
And knew where for sure.
Yeah. So I think maybe, yeah, I mean, were you gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say, the income credit. Sure, she's knowledgeable, but state, what she doing is different from
municipality. I'm too old to get involved. I'm telling you that. I just kind of glad you called it. I did some, municipality, but they're two different.
My point is, MSA's job was to get in there and get everything straight for this new person to come in. It should not be that much to be done. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What has to be done in order for them to have to stay, other than, he did mention a management training, but I mean, I'm confused.
But Councilwoman Thomas, we're really not talking about, the 20-hour week schedule that we've been maintaining.
So that's what we need to clarify.
We can do that, but we are talking about a knowledge transfer, and that takes time. And I can assure you, every time we call them, they will bill us. So it's just
That's my point.
it's one of
I mean,
those.
because if
Yeah,
we don't say how many hours and how much time we need right now, then at the end of the year, we're gonna be looking at an additional, you never know.
I would think it would be prudent to do this. I think it would be prudent to ask the mayor to have a conversation with your asking and let them decide up until December 7th, how much time he needs to spend. And I think once we get the treasurer in and the mayor and Shakir can sit down with her, she might say, I need 3 days and then I'm good. I think we'll probably need some input from her before we just try to put a code on her. Two sizes too small and two sizes too big.
And again, I'm very serious. The team of folks we got in there are doing a lot of work, and they, and many of them, they were new. I mean, many of them that were there, we had a couple of veterans in there, but a lot of folks that are in our finance area are now new folks. So it's been interesting. But we're getting it. We are definitely getting it.
Could we do that? Could we let Shakir and the mayor sit down and have a conversation and say, okay, what does it need to look like up until December 7th?
That'd be fine.
And
And I would like for him to come back and give us a report because it's important, because we're the ones that vote to make the decision.
Right,
This
that's
kid finance. Shakira needs to face this county and give us some input on what his decision on, because he didn't do any too much talking to us about, when he was in there. Because it was paid $120 an hour, that, we didn't get, a clear report from him, giving us an update on stuff that we can ask. And, I would like for him, because this body of the council has to make the right decision.
Yeah.
Because when you come to that auditor report and that, stated down report, and from what I'm seeing, looking at in, the pattern that, was the previous, of some things that, was in the exam report, came from the state exam. And, they're supposed to be when you place in their hand, will call to getting some things cleared up to make sure that we don't, be on the same page. We should be on the better, we should be do better, and some of the things that they find wrong in there. And that was the purpose of bringing EMS in here, that this, will not hold final, county was agreed upon that there were a lot of things that was called out in there that I'm waiting to hear, a report. I'm waiting to hear some of those things that were said. The reason being that came to get straight out, and I haven't seen them yet, and I'm waiting to hear. I'm quite interested in hearing. When I look at red bottom, when you say talking about the auditor report back in July 2019. I'm very curious of seeing what the report that come out, because of the money that we are paying as the body of this council to bring someone in to get our city finance office straight. I expect to see, I'm expecting to see something of the time that ENS has been. I'm following them.
Well, let me,
Do we have a time frame on the fiscal year 2019 audit to be completed?
That's the question I was gonna ask Mayor.
And that's what got me right now. I'm waiting, when I see red, when I see stuff in red, and, we have a very,
Well, those are the only two, is that, is the audit,
mhm.
the 2019, that's really the only thing that's in grade.
Well, he has another one, with the, 520, they're waiting on that, some information on that. So I'm just waiting for, I know it's not gonna be completed for the fiscal year of 2021, but I just want to see exactly what EMS comes out with this audit from, 2019.
Mr. Chairman, why don't we just give Shakir an opportunity, because he is available, he can answer.
Oh, I didn't know he was.
Yes, yeah, he's available.
Oh, okay.
He's here virtually. He is prepared to respond to you, Councilwoman. So we can move forward. And he also is prepared to do a display of proposed budget issues that we're talking about. I know that was a key issue as well. So.
Yeah. I can give an update really fast about the 2019 audit for sure. We actually I've been in correspondence with Carl Riggs and Andrew Waits and everything. And the last thing that we're waiting on from them is actually the attorney rep letters. So we are waiting to get those attorney rep letters back, and that will be the last thing for him to be able to finalize the audit and issue it. So that's something that's not on the city council or the directors or anything. It's more on those attorneys to get those letters back to us.
Who's working on those?
Say it again.
Which attorneys are working on those?
Let me find that email and then I can.
Those are the outside attorneys that have been handling different cases.
Okay.
Different cases for us. You mentioned Cerroti. Cerroti, if you recall, and again, folks, keep in mind that BMSS, their task was to determine what was right and what was wrong. And the less we get back from them, actually, the better things are. But a lot of the things that they went through, we identified, we said, okay, this may have been a human error, but it doesn't look like fraud, you know, because those things that look suspicious, we pass them on over to Cerroti to review. So we have to pay Cerroti too, because they did do the legal reviews on some things that we were checking out. That was the whole purpose for doing this the way we did. That has happened. And so we got to pay BMSS, we got to pay Cerroti, we'll pay all of them, and then we'll move on. But the whole idea was to go back and look at individual transactions, and they have given us the spreadsheets where they've gone through and looked at every ordinance, they've looked at every invoice, they've looked at all of this stuff, they documented it all, and those things that we felt we needed to look at further, we did, and nobody, you know, we're saying, okay, we're gonna move on. That's what we're trying to get. We're trying to move on. We're trying to establish a benchmark so that your administration, my administration, will know what we inherited, and we can move on from it. That's what we're doing. And that's,
yeah, and just to follow up, basically the way the process works, that's especially when you're dealing with the state, is the accountants are working on, I'm trying to simplify this as much as I can. They are making sure, for lack of a better explanation, individual general ledger things are being done. They're making sure that the numbers are correct. What Cerroti has to do, because this is not only an audit, a financial issue, it's also a legal issue.
mm-hmm.
So in order for Cerroti to sign off on an attorney's opinion, clearing up, just for lack of a better word, again, audit failures, they had to do, BMSS had to make them comfortable that the city has done everything to correct the sightings that were found. So then BMSS passes that information on to Cerroti, and then Cerroti will basically sign off on it from a legal standpoint that says, You know, it's been reviewed, they've done the things, they've cleared these things up, so it's not just a simple basic process. It's two different layers to this. It's a financial layer and a legal layer.
But I mean, I just want to hear when he does it, I want to hear the report. I want to hear from BNS, what comes back from that, because it has stayed on me for a minute. Practically just go straight through the state exam report, also to the audit of 2019, and according to what they were saying, that there was no fraud at the time. And just trying to figure out, why are we at this point? Are we spending money when we got the auditor report at 2019, for stating some things, and through the state exam, some things, and then we go back into the same stage, trying to get more and put in place, and they were specifically saying that these things that we need to put in place, so we can be in that to make sure that these things are in place, so that our finance office could be productive, could run, and we're not running to that anymore. So that is my concern when we do stuff like that. That's what I stay on, so I see the results of the end of it, and then I will have something else to say. But right now, at this point, I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see some things coming from BNS.
So what we want to do is, let me see if I'm following. What you want to do is the exceptions that the state found.
Yes.
We want a report from BNSS to tell us what happened with number one. Number
Yes.
two, number
And that's what I've been sticking with since they've been in here. I have always stayed on the pattern of the report that came from the state examiner. And also, I look at the previous auditor report, which came before us. There's some things in there that I've been reading in mine, and I've been following it was since BNS been in here, and I haven't got clear of what directly, I know you said we asked for policy procedures to be put in place. We asked for things that should be in place and according to under the legislature guideline for our treasurer to be operating in that office, and according to the things that I've been reading and researching, I'm waiting to see some more. I'm ready to see some more information that came out of that state exam report that we have been in. So that's all I need.
So you're asking for a spreadsheet of the findings from the state, and well, BMS and Brody, to bring that to the council.
Yes.
So that we can view those.
And I already seen phase one that came from BMS. We know we all got the phase one step. The phase one step saying that this is what we need to do. Okay, phase one is where already that you're saying that they have already did and put in place. So now, wait, after this phase, we get the report from you, the 2019 audit. I'm waiting to hear that. And then, and like you said, we are waiting for them to complete, to finish up. And then after that, when they give us a good report on, based on what we had the previous year, then I would feel, me as a representative, to say that there has been, this has been a good money value that we spent for our city to make sure that we are operating according. That's it. That's how I do my research. That's all I'm saying. I'm just speaking in my head. What I would like.
Shakira, were you listening where we can maybe go through those findings, you know, what your team, you're part of that team as well. The steps that you guys took to get those cleared up.
Yes, we can definitely give you guys a rundown on that as well. I'll have my manager actually send that through. He's been heading that with the FEMA audit, and then also I've been dealing with the 2019 audit. So we can get you guys something that is more clear about what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you could, in that process, if you could just give up maybe some kind of update from Sherodian and then their legal opinion.
Okay, I can do that.
Anything else?
That's all I wanted to know. I just, when I do something, and I'm in it, I wanted to make sure that I see, when we spend money based on things that were said, I followed it to the end. That was my only concern. I would like to do what find.
That's good business.
We should have an update on this soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can go ahead and probably in the next week. Anything else before we get into the budget?
No.
Are we, I guess one of the things that we do need to talk about are the Auburn study, the pay ranges that have been about the budget and have dealt with salaries and the pay ranges and those kind of things. And one of the things that was about the Auburn study is, I think some of the numbers, I don't know that, I mean, I think they use Prattville, they use Tuscaloosa. You know, there's the best municipalities to set up pay ranges for us. I don't know. I think it was a great exercise. Got to have something in place. There's no reason that any of us council persons be trying to figure out how to pay somebody without having a guideline. I mean, that's just crazy. Is the administrative committee, are we on slate anything? Ms. Christie, with the administration? It was gonna be, okay, all right. So I think what we need to
We
do.
were supposed to set a separate meeting just for this.
Okay, and a joint meeting, which is finance committee, executive finance. So, okay. All right, we need to keep that in mind, we should talk about this budget, so we will do that.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Due to the Auburn pay plan study, we were pushing for this, that was the problem with the city government of the employees working. We've been, benefiting handicapped with a salary. And the last time we talked, before the new administrator came, okay, since the new administration has been in, they put that, voting at the hour done. My problem is with this, and I hope that this body of this council realize that, we agree to finish up the Auburn pay plan. And we agree to look at each individual of the party, of the board of our employment, measure up to whether they should be at this service working. And also, I paid a lot of attention to the gentleman that came here and talked to us that day. He said that we would use that pay plan as a guide. What was the council to figure out? It's not our job to figure out the salary. It was the purpose of the getting our pay plan was to bring them in to set a rate pay for each department, even with the years of service are moving up. And he told us that in that breakdown, in that pay plan, that we will use measurement of level steps that will rank of what a person should be up to. So my problem is this here. Now, I just hope that this county does not let that off the pay plan. We can pay them, and we agree to these points that we were going to base it on making sure these employees get a raise. But what we did do, there came in administration, new administration, We did, voted, and the mayor wanted everybody to see the growth in some of the departments, which we did. We came in and we voted to give certain departments, a raise, start with public work, try to bring some, get more people to come to work. We looked at that, and now we at a pay plan, we at a level of where I will, for me, I'm very, when it comes to this agreement, we was gonna finish the pay plan, we was gonna go by and what they got about. They gave us the best layout to look at, moving employees up the salary. So I would like to know from you, since we did this pay plan, you're the chairperson of this finance, which finance is the whole body of the committee. What are our goals with this pay plan?
And I want to just, because words mean things, I just want to back up and say, my understanding that Auburn was not charged to develop salary ranges, rather they were engaged to make recommendations for salary. I don't think we voted that whatever Auburn comes back with, we're going to put in place. We just asked for a recommendation. So, I mean, I don't think we have to adopt what they.
And I know that, and then I know that, because we are spending taxpayers' money, we spend taxpayers' money to make sure that we're making the best decision for the employees that work for the city. We did not spend this money to, get a pay plan, and we not, this body council does not vote for it, put it in motion to be operated on. My goal is this year, I want to know, since we've done this, they completed a long, couple of years, a long time, and they have completed. Because I think it's unfair to keep, bandaging, because, like Sam just came up and told us in the last work day about the holidays. He was saying that holidays is coming up. In the 4 years I've been sitting up here, every time we would vote, say, give them a bonus, or give them this. People, I just don't believe in that. Citizens, the people that work at the city, they want to work, they need to see this there. So that is my problem. I'm trying to find out this pay plan, since we have completed. I want to know where what are we gonna do with it? We spent citizen taxpayers money, and we looked at every range, for every range of every employee that works for the city. So I just want to know, what we plan to.
Let me make a comment on that. This case study is, you have to think about it, this is the extent, just like I said, it took time for us to get through the budget. It's gonna take some time for us to look at these numbers. We're gonna have to start meeting with these and look at it the way we did our budget. If you remember, we talked about, and there's a statement in here that say, in many cases throughout the pay chart, many of the current jobs will have to be brought up to the middle of step one for the appropriately evaluated and grade. With sensitivity to the city's fiscal constraint, this process does not have to be accomplished all at one time. So just because we have this pay study does not mean we go in and vote and say, okay, let's do this pay study. It's gonna have to be evaluated and looked at with the council and the mayor. Everybody involved.
That's what we did. I thought that, I understand.
No, I mean like each job classification, and each step. I don't think that we can just say, okay, let's go ahead and adopt this pay plan without looking at our budget. It's so many things that comes into play when we talk about adopting a pay plan or adopting raises. So I think we need to schedule our meetings like we did with the budget, and sit down and talk about these things instead of just saying, okay, let's make a decision and go ahead and adopt.
Well, my reason, my concern is, Christie, I'm very proud that we went those information to get there, and then getting ready to go into 2022. In 2022, of this year, we need to be, I would love us to not just spend money and get something there, and we're not going to follow. We're not going to, just like we voted for it, we voted to get it. And I hope that,
For
I will,
recommendation,
yes.
for recommendation.
Yes, and I do want to see, citizens that work here, for the city, I do want to see people that work here, on their decent salary. I looked at it and, for many years, our city, you know, our workers are real behind. And, this is great, but let's pass it up, we got employees, I want to see, since we finished it, I hope that we continue to use it. That's my
And
concern.
that's what I mentioned earlier, that we mentioned that we're gonna have to set separate meetings in order to get this done.
Okay.
It can't just be done in one.
Well, that's all my concern. We got paid money, and, citizens are looking at us when we spend money, but, for what we need to get our,
For
employees.
recommendation.
And yes, and for employees to come to work for the city. That's my.
All right, that's your question, man. Is there no projection to give everybody the same raise, like, is it just something particular? The departments that need raises, they have to give a raise to bring better people, more people in. We adopting this plan, but we analyzing that situation. I mean, how we going?
It sounds, when listening to the exchange between Councilwoman Janie Thomas, Councilwoman Christie Thomas, it sounded like they were contradicting one another. One could make that assumption if you were listening to it, if you didn't really understand what's really happening. Actually, what I heard was they were agreeing. One was saying what the end result should be. The other one was talking about the process to get to the end result. That's how I heard it. Somebody else may have heard it differently, but that's how I heard it. Several things. Do you all recall, city attorney will recall this, I wasn't in the meeting. We brought forward the proposed pay plan for the police department. And my specific instructions, I wasn't in the meeting, but my specific instructions was to do what? Put it on first reading, to have a conversation about it. The council, and I applaud you, made the decision to not put it on first read and vote on it and approve it. When the council made that vote, we didn't get a chance to talk about why I wanted you to put it on first read. Reason I wanted you to put it on first read because when we voted on that plan, there was some consequences. And the consequences were that we were voting on that plan based on the American Rescue Plan money being available to assist. That money is available, that money is going to be around for approximately 2 years, about 2 fiscal years. At that point, in order to sustain just that portion of the pay increases that we have done, the city is going to have to identify additional sources of revenue. That conversation never took place because of the way that vote went down. I'm not misrepresenting it. The second thing is this. I did advocate. I have to go back in history. Councilman Randolph, when I first walked in the door, laborers were making $5.25 an hour. we struggled to get pay increases across the board, and the city was successful in getting the pay increase to $7.25 an hour. Am I right? Am I right? Okay. At the same time, we put in another pay plan for the fire department and the police department even then. That was prior to 2008. The Evans administration realized that it was a problem to continue getting pay increases for employees and sustain them. And what he decided to do was the bonus. Am I right? Yeah. The one-time pay raise. That's what he called it, one-time pay raise, because he couldn't figure out, am I right? Or there was no way to put a sustainable pay increase in without new revenue. The Melton administration came in, said the same thing, but it could not happen. It didn't happen. When we came in, we figured out a couple of things. One, because the Melton administration reduced the number of employees as he had, the city became cash heavy. I'm trying to explain how this thing is. Even though there were no services, some critical services were not being done, but the city became cash heavy. We got cash. The city not broke, we got cash. And as a consequence of that, there were some things that when we went back to put those positions back in place, we also came back and said, let's increase the pay from that 725 to 9. So we got, my labor union boss over there, she agreed. Let's get the pay up. Am I right, Councilwoman? Am I okay?
You brought it back.
We got up to 9. We also, at that time, did another pay plan increase for the fire department. Don't y'all remember that? We did another pay increase for the fire department. It was not the full step that they wanted, but we gave them about 40%, nearly 50% of what they were asking, and said to them, guys, hold on, we're getting better. When the council passed the police department pay plan, we gave them everything they asked for. And that immediately changed that changed the ball. And then the council did something recently that I agree with. Councilman Harville, we agreed. We have to pay the treasurer and the tax collector a reasonable pay to get the quality of expertise we need to manage our money. Council made the decision, we did that. But in the same meeting, council did something else. You increased the pay of the clerk. You single out a single employee. No, wait. I'm not misrepresenting. I'm not talking about the why. I'm not talking about the why. If you want me to stop, I'll stop.
I mean,
but
what are you trying to make? Because the pay increase that we gave police officers was a recommendation from the mayor's office.
The recommendation from the mayor's office was to put it on first reading,
which was a recommendation to the council.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that. All I'm saying is we've already started going down this road. I mean, we literally have already started going down this road. I mean, I'm actually showing you the history, the facts of what has taken place, not to point fingers, but just to acknowledge that we've already.
It seems that way, that fingers are being pointed because you recommended that the treasurer have an increase.
I do, and I just said, I said, Councilman Harvey and I agree.
Which is singling out two other employees.
And I said, I don't argue the fact, I didn't argue or disagree with the issuance of the police department rate. Hold on a second, I said that. I didn't disagree with it, but I thought we needed to have a conversation so that we would understand the consequence of it. Now, you know what, I'm trying, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Maybe I didn't say it right. But it wasn't that I didn't agree. If I did not agree with it, I would not have sent it to you. So I agreed with it, but we never had the conversation about the consequence of passing. And I felt that we needed to have that conversation because once that happened, that was a commitment to find some new money. We got to do it over the next 2 years. We have time to do it, but we got to do it over these next couple of years. So now that history I think is important because I wanted you, the council and the community to fully understand where we are and how we got here. So at the end of the day, I'm okay with where we are. But at the end of the day, we got to walk down this road together. Because right now, we already cut the road. We just got to pave it now. Because we already cut the road. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. We just need to be in agreement that we need to be going down this road. Now, I said when I first started this conversation, because y'all asked me to come to the mic. Was I not invited to the mic? Yes, I was invited to come to the mic. Listen, what I said when I first opened my mouth was that Councilwoman Janet Thomas and Councilwoman Christy Thomas, in my ears, agreed. One was talking about the result. The other one was talking about the process to get there. And so I agree with you that we just got to walk this down. Yes, sir. This is the road that we have, and I think we need to be on. In order for Selma to become that progressive community that we keep talking about we want to be, we need to be prepared to pay for it.
Thank you.
This is what I would recommend. I would recommend, because I'm not going to do it. I'll tell you, I'm not going to do it. I do it, I won't do it, so I'm not going to do it. I think we need to get Shakir or somebody I think we need a spreadsheet of every budgeted position in the city of Selma. All right. And I think we need to grade those positions out according to what Auburn suggested. And I think we need what their current pay is. We need to know what the minimum is, the midpoint, and the maximum, so we can see what kind of effect the pay grade is going to have. If we go with that plan, we can be able to see, okay, this is what happened.
Councilman, that is exactly what's supposed to happen next. And not that is exactly what's supposed to happen next, but it doesn't need to happen with Shakir. It needs to happen with our new treasurer.
Yeah, I'm reading, but I don't know that we need that.
Well, I mean, we're talking December the 7th when she comes in. So, but it really needs to happen. And the other thing is this. Council, understand that what the city of Selma did was we abandoned our policy and procedure. We abandoned the pay plan that we had in place and began to give raises to people not based on performance evaluation or cost of living, across the board cost of living increase, but based on things other than what was in the policy. One of the biggest challenges we got right now is to get back to policy. But in order to get back to policy, we need to make sure we know which policy we're going to follow. And that's where we are. We're not in a bad place. It may look bad, but but it's not a bad place. We are actually making progress. And right now, we just need to be bold and courageous and continue to move, because really, you all have made some good decisions. I think we just need to keep moving. Thank you.
There's a lot of truth. I agree with a lot of what you said. I would, again, I just happen to have a steering wheel this meeting. I'm not the boss. I'm just one person. I'm just holding the steering wheel. I would like to know if there are, and I'm fine, if we want to wait till the treasurer gets in here and she can walk through this process with us, I'm fine with that. But what I would like to know is there anything pressing that we need to look at a salary? Is there any position that we really, I mean, you knew with our public safety issues, as far as keeping law and order, we had to look at the police department. Salaries. I mean, is there another area that we really need to go ahead and tackle like that, or do we just need to wait?
As we know,
Yes,
let me, because you know me, I walk the ladder, I go from the bottom to the top. Let me speak on this. There are a lot of places in there where and there are issues that we gave salary to some department, like the fire department, we gave them a salary. The fire department gave them a salary. But when they came before us with, the fire department, remember, what they came before us with, we did not give them what they asked for. Gave them based on the percentage of what in our finance and in our budget line item we do at the time. Listen to me now. Right now, that I think that what you just said, go back from the previous of our budget and compare. We know, I know for a fact, the 4 years that I've been here of the budget of how we have got salary with the department, what people have moved up. And most of the people that have moved up with the salary were people who placed in positions of direct of the department. But the labor, we have people making extremely salary, high salary. Direct department. My focus on the labor people that work there. Police department, the key term of the people that go out to work, that right now we need to look at them. It wouldn't be fair to keep giving money to other people out with it. It's time to be fair for the labor people. And I agree with you, what you just said, that step, progress step of looking at these people that in these labor fields that have been working. Minimum wage is only what, $7 and what? It's $7.25. Okay, you look at a labor person working, work for the city, has put here 15 years or 25 years, and have not made itself up to that $10, $11 an hour. Given these raises, we have to be fair to the work. That's how I look at it. I don't think it's fair that we should go and give any more. We should look at but bring more for the salary.
So, Councilwoman, like I mentioned, for council legislatively, you all can't go in and single out. They should be across the board.
And that's what it had
You
to
have
happen.
to bring it up.
We need to bring it up.
That comes from their supervisor and evaluation, that comes from. Because if we get into saying, I'm gonna put this person and that person, that's.
No, I wasn't saying individually. What I was saying without the hourly pay plan. It's the level. That's what I was talking about. You have to go across the board. But what we did not do that. We came in and gave certain departments rates. We did not go across the board all the way with all the departments. All the employees that work. We did not do that.
This is something we can't afford for our road. That's what they're saying, we can't afford to pay this for our roads. We'll have to raise, what the mayor said, we'll have to raise.
Well, right now, I would say to the city of Selma and to the body of the council. We spent money, but we said that we were going to look at it for the previous year. Our audit had started their audit, and I just hope that whatever the remaining that we spent, that doesn't just let that sit there like it's finished. But that's all the thing.
Councilman Randolph.
Yeah, we, Council Thomas, Councilwoman Thomas, you, pay raise or fire one. You do something like that in
The last time we gave them when they came before, remember? The previous, remember the fire department came before? What the mayor was saying, they brought,
you turn the bill down.
no, we did, this is 2021.
Okay. So, the raise that we gave police department. Yeah, that was 2021.
Yes, we just did that.
So, I can't recall, it ain't on my code, but I can recall, everybody.
We did get fire department, we did. Yes, we did, Sam. We did.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Sam, let me tell you something. One thing about me, I remember. I remember what we did. We gave them, that's why I say it's good that we sit up here, we have to keep documentation and remember. We did give them, but we did not give them what they asked for. And this is why I'm saying that, Ms. Harvey, you cheerleader, you lead and bring the recommendation and let me, all of us, we only have a voice of our own opinion on what we should do. That's what we deal with the city government. The legislative branch will make the right decision on what we need to do. It is right.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to say that I agree with you that as soon as practical, administration will put together a comparative analysis to pay each position that's funded in the municipal budget, showing current budgeted pay, showing the comparison between the step one, the median, and the final step in the proposed pay plan so that we can look at the economic impact of that. We'll do that. I think that's what has been requested. I made a categorical statement that I would like to correct. And that categorical statement was I agree with all of the decisions the council has made as related to pay. I did, Councilwoman Christie Thomas, she challenged me on whether or not I supported what came forward with police pay. I did, and I made a categorical statement that I supported what you did, but I did not agree. There was one item that I did not agree with, and that was the increase for the clerks. I didn't agree. Hold on, Councilwoman. Hold on.
Okay,
No, but see, you have a different role. You all have a different role than I have. And in that situation, it created a firestorm of administrators. And so I did not agree with that. And I wanted to be clear in the record that I did not promote it. I did not agree with it. I did not bring it.
And can I speak for the record on that?
Sure.
During the time that you came before giving the raise, remember, the departments that you, read on giving the raise. At the time, we were into our budget. Our clerk, we got to her. And at that time, our clerk did not get a raise at all.
Mhm.
The clerk had been here possibly, I looked at it, possibly almost what, a year. And this is what the body of the council had made the decision. We said that we were looking at the clerk, increasing them. And it was talking about increasing, bringing everybody up, including the tax and the trade. We said, according to, compared to other states without city clerk, that she was at a low level. And we all agreed when we got into the budget that we will bring her salary up. It wasn't because of her salary was already on the way to bring her up to. We were looking at, Mr. Harvey had brought us, Mr. Harvey gave us some pay ranges of the clerks. And we looked at it and we figured that, in the budget, after we got to the budget, that we will agree to bring her salary up. That's why we voted to give it, because it had nothing to do with your new income trade. We were looking at her already.
But just know that I don't disagree with, there needed to be a pay increase for that position. It was the timing and the singling out at that time.
Well, I hope not.
But it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
And I just hope that people understand that this legislative body has a appointed position that, these people fall upon.
I absolutely agree.
And we felt this sometimes.
Don't disagree with you. I don't disagree that she deserved the pay, that whatever y'all did, I did not approach the mic. I didn't argue it. I didn't debate it. I didn't contradict it. I sat down and I kept quiet.
Thank you. Ma'am. But I just want to get that clarified.
I'm done. I just wanted to clarify that point.
All he's doing is saying this was my opinion. This is his opinion. We can't say he's right or he's wrong because it's his opinion. There's no right or wrong. It's his opinion. We have our, it's all good.
Come on, Mr. Harvey.
Let's keep going. Let's keep on going. And tonight, basically, it's after 7 o'clock. This is what I want to do. I would like for everybody, I want to familiarize ourselves with what's been requested of the budget. I want to go through each of these items. I don't want to sit here and discuss every item and be here till 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I would like to identify and then regroup on what we need to discuss. Does everybody have everybody? I think I gave you everybody. So basically, it has come back to us to consider and I'm going to say this is, a recommendation from the mayor. Is like he said, he has his department heads, some cuts in some areas, and he's asking for some additional funding in other areas. So that's what we're dealing with. He has asked to. He originally put in $50,000 for the homeowner assistance program. We took that out. He is bringing it back to us to reconsider. Shakir or the mayor, either one, it's the Alabama. Oh, never mind. I see. Why is that coming out? I'm just curious. Shakir, you know when that's coming out? The Tom Digby Regional. Looks like we adopted it, and now it's coming out. Was that something that wasn't needed, or?
Are we looking at the general government still?
No, that's the mayor's office.
The mayor's office. That was a request by the mayor.
Okay.
But it was,
That was a request by the mayor.
wait, right now.
Yeah, that line item did not belong in the mayor's budget.
That's what I figured. Okay, I got you. The next block is city council line items, and basically the training has been beat back up. And again, I said I didn't want to have discussion, and I jumped right in and started having discussion, so I'm sorry. Let's just keep going down and make sure we lay our eyes on all this stuff. The next one is the legal office. Looks like there's a request to increase the salary probably. Planning and development. There's some difference there. I tell you, I mean, y'all want to go through this? I mean,
Can I ask you before you go through it?
Yeah.
No, the whole body of council is here.
That's,
Let me ask
that's,
you, let me ask you this question. I want to know, we passed a budget. We passed a physical budget, October.
Mhm.
Now, why is we going back to this whole budget again, where most of the admin, what we had discussed? That's my, I don't know why, we're not in budget here, we passed the budget October the 1st. What are we doing? Are we amending this budget, or what are we doing this time?
Well, part of the issue is we got the American Rescue. So that's part of it.
Okay, well, this is not talking about the American Rescue. Okay, part of the issue with the American Rescue Fund, we know that it was told to us, the American Rescue Fund not to be into the general fund. So, it was supposed to be put in separate account.
For funding purposes, those funds need to be in a separate account.
Mhm.
For budget purposes, the funds need to be included in the budget process.
Yeah, but. Let me finish again. But my thing is this here. This is just like we are going back over our own. budget. This is not our budget, but it's. Now we come back on the same thing, the whole plan of the budget. And, with Mary went back and finished it here, and put some stuff back in that we took out. Now, by law, under the legislature, right? Once we pass the budget, we're supposed to be moving on. But now, we're coming back, going back to our budget that we adopted, that the mayor took time to went back and put everything going to what we forgot to put back in. Something I like with this, Mr. Harvey, this is not the way the legislative branch, operates the budget. One thing in passed in our vote, unless we are going to recommend that the whole body of the council be present on the work session, say that we're going to amend, what we're doing. But, and I think every elected official that represents this city, here needs to be in this city. We're not in budget here. We are, I don't understand that, because that's not the way it should be. We didn't approve the budget. We're going back, talking about everything that we went through the budget. Budget was supposed to move on. So, we're gonna call, we're gonna do this, but every person needs, right? That's why it's important, every seat should be up there. I know you're the head of the chair, and I think you should bring us some kind of recommendation that you look at, whatever this is in your proposal that, whatever that fund would be taken out or recommend, or me, for us to come back with, to this body of the county. That's what it has. It just ain't been put in the system.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
I think what the problem ain't here was reimbursement for people. We get less money. We get less money, so that means our budget will be out of balance.
But I told this body of the council the day before we did that, I asked them to look at our budget and make sure that our budget is compliant to what we bring in and what we get. Because it was important before we passed the budget, and now we're at the point.
If people tell you they gonna give $800,000, then all of a sudden, still say, well,
But that's
we're
not
not
what
gonna
the
give
budget process is done.
$800,000. 600,000. But we'll depend on that money coming in.
But this is not FEMA he's talking about. He's talking about telling us our whole budget plan has changed. Things that we taken out of the budget is put back into it.
But whole thing I'm looking at is they was taking stuff out of the budget because of our shortfall. This budget is gonna be out of balances. It's gonna have shortfall of money from the FEMA. Man, I'm correct that I'm.
Yeah, I thought the chairman had asked Shakir, Mr. Campbell, to go ahead and walk through this and, because there really is an explanation.
I forget if I need to hear it.
Well, there is an explanation for all of this. Councilman Randolph, you are correct. This issue started with an out of balance revenue projection. We were getting 87, we're scheduled to get 87.5% and not 100% of that FEMA reimbursement, which automatically, when that was observed, took the budget out of balance by several $100,000. When that happened, Shakir brought that to my attention. We talked about it. I said to the department heads, I want everybody to cut your budget by 2%. Everybody just reduce your budget by 2%. And some did 2, some may have done 4, some may have done 1.5, but we got the budget cut down. And when we cut the budget down, we had a revenue addition. And when we did that, along with, compared it to what we had when the deficit, when we did the revenue piece, there was money available to put those things that we're recommending back into the budget. And Mr. Campbell can explain it better than me. He has the details.
I think you talked to us about it, at the last.
Yeah, but that's what this is all about. And now what the chairman was about to do was to go through the things that we were recommending to put back in, because we were able to come up with the savings by cutting everybody's department by 2% to get it done. That's.
And can I say, Mayor,
Yes,
when you do this here, you have to, we passed the budget, we just can't.
You passed the budget that didn't balance.
Well, either way, we passed the budget, October.
I agree.
I do my homework now.
That's right.
I do my homework. We passed the budget by law, we have to pass the budget by October. Okay. But this council, the body of this council, we made our decision and went through every budget year, every, even with your department. Those departments played a big part in it. Even someone told us, but now, the best way that I recommend, we gonna do this.
That's what we're talking.
I understand.
That's what we're talking.
Yeah, but you don't have everyone here. You don't have.
You're not gonna vote tonight anyway, Councilwoman.
No.
This is just a committee meeting.
I know it's a committee meeting,
Because
but.
everybody's on the
Making
finance, everyone's on the finance committee. You have a quorum. This is an official finance committee meeting. Everyone was invited.
I think. Which can committee, that is that each elected official to be a part of to hear what the chairperson. Because if we come back and let's keep on bringing that Thursday night. Gonna bring that Thursday night, Councilman?
We can.
Okay.
We can.
Yeah.
We can.
I think it's very important.
Shakir made the effort to be on tonight. I want to hear from you.
Thank you.
I want to make a couple. When we approve this budget, there is a tab in the spreadsheet where we made recommendations on how to spend American investment. All right, so I'm going to go down the mayor's list and sent back. Okay. Large increases are the homeowner's assistant program. We said we didn't think that it was a bad program, we just wanted more information on it. That's the reason we took it out. Okay, that's why that's out of there. city council stuff. Here's what it is. The public buildings is an increase of $372,000. In our suggestions on how to spend the American Rescue Funds, we recommended public works budget go up $600,000. So he's actually coming back to us for less than what we recommended on that. Public works, wait, stand corrected, that was public. Public buildings, we recommended. And I don't think what Shakir and the mayor have done are off the base with what we recommended.
Because the business is an increase, they're including for the R and M, 378,000
Which one?
on public buildings.
Yeah, I'm trying.
That's repair and maintenance. All of the buildings.
All of the bills included?
Public works, be coming back, that's recommending adding, $364,000, adding $600,000. He's doing a little less. And the difference is, he has not come back to us and recommended doing, the data center on the IT stuff. I guess my point is, what he's done, what he and Shakir have done is not way away. It's just in a different, it's just because of the American Rescue Funds, and the way we did it, but it's just a little complicated.
Can you explain to me where is the American Rescue Fund?
Well, we held them out of our budget.
Okay,
He put them back into his.
okay. Put it back in. Okay. If he put them back in there, it says that any money that we spend to trade, but it's a different type of form to do, keep our spend money.
Yeah, it needs to
On
be,
the
right,
item.
it needs to be in a separate account. It needs to be-
And that's my, see, this is what I'm, see, Mr. Javier, don't get me wrong. This is what I learned according to, I go to these training programs. They tell us as elected officials, according to keep myself clear, myself out of jail. According to make sure that we are doing the guidelines that require us to use this money how to be spent. And I understand what you're saying, that, don't get me wrong with the American here. But it look good what you're saying, but I wanted to make sure that we are on the same page, that where he's putting the American Rescue Fund back in with an item for public work, that we understand that it should be our treasurer, have a different layout, but they request us to do that. And I want to make sure that it's done according to that, or I cast a vote to make sure that I don't be part of
Yeah,
something that's.
we got to set up a separate account for that.
Okay,
And here's part of the reason why we separated it out. Out of the $22 million budget, and I'm just using my own numbers, okay? 2 million of that is American Rescue, okay?
I mean,
What we're spending out of our $22 million budget, over $2 million is approved spending for American Rescue. We wanted to make sure, part of the reason we held that out was just to make sure, okay, what we're spending can be counted toward the American.
And
We don't know that yet.
can I ask you that question? You put it in there, I want to specify, you make sure that you specify this by the council, that where that money is being spent on what line item and what department it's being spent
Well,
on.
all you gotta do is add up all.
I can't get the way you saying what you're saying. I understand what you're saying,
I got you.
but I'm trying to be clear for what I've heard them say at the training, according to how they said keep the record of the spending of it. It's easy for you telling us on this paper that they put it in here, but my question is the layout of what's used in America. That is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm with you.
You understand what I'm saying? It's easy for you to tell me.
Every question, because I need some clarification myself. Okay. So, you just said 22 million, we paid. 2 million of that is the American Rescue Fund. Is that 2 million in this amendment?
Yes, we pulled it out. When we approved the budget, we pulled it out again.
Right.
And reduced expenses and said, okay, we're gonna take these expenses and match them up with American Rescue.
Okay,
We're gonna.
so here's my comment on that. After attending those trainings, and I said this at the last meeting, we do not know what we can spend this money on.
Wow.
There's specific guidelines that they haven't even come to a final decision yet, which is why we had Mr. William Scott come in and speak with us about what we can and cannot spend our American Rescue Fund on.
All right, I'm gonna do this because I have talked to DMS's expert on American Fund, spending American Rescue. And I reported that to this committee. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that person, I'm gonna get Shakir to spearhead that and let them address. And so y'all don't have to hear it from me, you can hear it from DMSS. And I can assure you DMSS and those meetings are shot.
No, it's fair.
I bet you $1 to a dozen.
Well, I ain't gonna care from this being this and like, make sure that we are following the guidelines.
You know, the only thing we've done, I mean, if you look at the spreadsheet, the American Rescue Plan money is separated. It's still separated. But in the spreadsheet where it's separated, it's just showing where we are proposing to spend the money in each individual department, but it is still separated. What you're discussing is an accounting function that's handled by the account number. This is not something that well, again, I suggested that we give Shakir an opportunity to explain it, but this is an accounting principle and practice that can be easily managed by a number. And the rules for spending the American Rescue Plan money has matured significantly over the past 30 days. I just wanted to.
And they sent us a lot of people
Yes,
showing us how the guideline, how is to be filled out. That's why it's important that our treasurer know that it's a set of different programs with a lot of paperwork that we've seen that require us to keep documentation. That's why we got that treasurer. And that treasurer gonna have to make sure that it's filled out, that money is going towards whatever y'all been putting into, what they said, the plan. And we make sure that it goes towards that and it's sent in according to where we spend that money. And they told us that we are the ones that the head will be on the night. Because they told us to make sure we go to these meetings. And I'm one of those people, I take it serious. I'm not going to jail for nobody. And I'm not hard-headed as an elected official that require us how they told us to do when it comes to this American Rescue Fund. And I understand you and EMS knows this, but I haven't seen nothing yet when it showed. Say, you know,
There were several.
Councilwoman, Councilwoman Thomas and Mayor Perkins, is it appropriate for me to interject?
Security.
I just wanted to tell everybody really quickly, I agree with Councilwoman Thomas, but we have a 17-page document that goes over everything in explicit detail in regards to the American Rescue Plan funds. It details our reporting requirements, it details the eligible uses. And so all of the department heads as well, we all met with Shakir and we went over this document explicitly for those items that are being proposed to be used for American Rescue funds. It's very detailed and it's 17 pages. It tells you do's and don'ts. It tells you the things you explicitly cannot use the funds for, and it tells you the things you explicitly can use those funds for.
Okay, what I was gonna say is, and when the presentation was done on American Rescue Fund, there were several questions asked from council, from other cities and mayors on whether we can spend this money on certain things. And guess what their answer was? I'm not sure. We don't know this. This was just 2 weeks ago.
That's because the rules are so vague, and they're vague for a purpose.
And that's how we
And
need to be careful.
we're not gonna talk about this anymore. You guys have to get comfortable before you vote, and I respect that 100%. I'm not gonna make you comfortable, but I'm gonna try to do
And
something that'll
then
make you
we
comfortable.
received a letter from the Attorney General.
I'm saying 100%. We're gonna listen. Do you have something you want to add?
Just finally, and I guess when you go to enough of these conferences, you realize that folks really want you to follow the advice of the council and the professionals that you hire to do the evaluations and the studies and to interface with the state and federal government. We have a team that's doing this when we come to you with recommendations. We're not guessing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kind of like telling your brain surgeon to have to do surgery on your brain.
I'm gonna keep this brain surgery, he didn't want to do it.
Shakir, would you go through this document with us and then we'll adjourn?
Yes. Which part of the budget would you like to go over?
Want to do? I'm checked out.
Check out.
I'm checked out too, cause if it was weekends. What was your job title? What was your Okay. Let me get it. Okay, that's my point. That's my point.
I need to fix, I got to do